1. Spain's geographic superpowers. Located at the southwestern tip of Europe, Spain is the fourth largest country on the continent, covering more than 195,000 square miles. Nearly twice the size of Oregon. With this broad territory, Spain holds a valuable geographic position as it borders both the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea. While also lying close to the Strait of Gibraltar, only a few miles from Morocco, what makes this location even more remarkable is that on clear days, Africa can be seen with the naked eye from Spain's southern coast. Because of this unique placement, Spain naturally becomes a link between Asia, Europe, and Africa, as well as an important gateway for international trade. Spain is also the only country in Europe that contains a true desert. The Tabernas Desert in Almeria, which once appeared in classic Hollywood Western films. In addition, over 20% of Spain's land rises above 3,300 feet, creating sudden shifts in climate within a single day. It is possible to enjoy the sun in Malaga during the morning and then travel to Granada for skiing in the afternoon, with more than 3,000 hours of sunshine each year. Spain stands out as an ideal vacation destination. 2. The Freedom Revolution. Beaches like Playa de los Muertos in Andalusia, Playa del Torn in Catalonia, and especially Vera Playa have become legendary. Vera Playa even has a full naturist resort that's become a favorite getaway for thousands of Northern European visitors each year. At Vera, this experience goes to the next level. You can shop, grab coffee, dine outdoors, or stroll along the beach as comfortably as you want without worrying about clothes. According to the Spanish Federation for Body Freedom FN, the number of Spaniards who regularly practice naturism is estimated at around 30,000 people, with an additional 500,000 practicing it occasionally. What's particularly interesting is that participation rates among women over 40 are rising quickly. This isn't about exhibitionism. It's about a cultural attitude toward body acceptance that most countries haven't embraced. Here's the legal reality that might surprise you. Spain has no law banning public nudity, making it one of the rare countries in Europe where what you wear or don't wear is genuinely your choice. Some cities like Barcelona have started adjusting regulations in busy tourist areas to balance personal freedom with public space considerations. But legally, Spain maintains this remarkable approach to individual liberty. 3. The Spanish women phenomenon. Spanish women don't chase after Hollywood or Instagram standards. Instead, they win people over with their confidence, passion, and absolutely unique personalities. Their Mediterranean look naturally stands out. Sun-kissed skin, thick dark hair, and deep, lively eyes create an appeal that doesn't rely on artificial enhancement. They love their bodies as they are, which makes them more attractive than any layer of cosmetic perfection. What makes Spanish women especially appealing to foreigners is their independence combined with their passionate yet understated way of living. Nearly 60% of university students in Spain are women. And increasingly, women are taking on leadership roles in politics, technology, and culture. In relationships, Spanish women are strong yet deeply emotional. They aren't shy about showing love through their eyes and gestures, but they're also crystal clear about their freedom and personal boundaries. This combination of warmth and independence creates a dynamic that many foreigners find irresistible. What do you think about these women? Want to know more? Leave your questions in the comments and we'll share more details. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like so YouTube can recommend it to even more people. And if you're watching on your phone, tap the hype button right below. Human towers that defy physics. The Castells Festival is so unique and impressive that UNESCO recognized it as intangible cultural heritage in 2010. During this festival, hundreds of people of all ages come together to build human towers up to 10 levels high, reaching almost 33 feet in height. The base consists of the strongest people, forming a solid foundation. The middle layers are called castellers, and at the very top, a child wearing a helmet climbs up and waves to the crowd. That moment when the child reaches the top and waves is when the entire square erupts in cheers that can be heard for miles. Each human tower team operates like a close-knit family, called casteller. They train year-round, celebrating every new structure they achieve. Safety is absolutely paramount, with strict training protocols, safety mats, and medical teams on standby at every event. The trust required between participants is extraordinary. People literally put their lives in each other's hands. What makes this tradition even more remarkable is that it's not just about physical strength. It requires incredible coordination, timing, and emotional connection between participants. The moment when a 10-level human tower successfully forms and then carefully dismantles represents one of the most beautiful examples of human cooperation you'll ever witness. The town living under giant rocks. Would you dare live in a house with a giant rock hanging directly over your roof? The people of Setenil de las Bodegas, a town in Andalusia, Spain, not only dare, they absolutely love it. This isn't some modern architectural experiment. It's a way of life that's existed for centuries. Setenil is tucked into a small canyon, carved out by the Rio Trejo River over millions of years. Instead of removing the massive rocks to build conventional houses, locals since medieval times have used the natural stone formations as walls and roofs. This saves building materials and provides incredible natural cooling that works better than any modern air conditioning system. In summer, when outside temperatures can hit 40 degrees Celsius, these cave houses stay naturally cool. It's like having ancient built-in climate control that never breaks down and never needs maintenance. The thick rock provides perfect insulation, keeping homes warm in winter and cool in summer. The town has only about 3,000 residents but attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors each year thanks to its absolutely unique scenery. You can sit at a roadside tapas bar with a giant rock as your ceiling, sipping local wine while literally having tons of stone suspended over your head. The experience is both thrilling and oddly comforting. What's fascinating is how this practical solution became an architectural marvel. The residents didn't set out to create a tourist attraction. They simply adapted to their environment in the most logical way possible. The result is a town that looks like something from a fantasy movie but represents centuries of practical Spanish ingenuity. The art of the Spanish complaint. In many countries, small talk starts with cheerful answers like, "I'm good," or "all great." But in Spain, be ready for something completely different. A warm, honest greeting wrapped in what sounds like a complaint. This cultural habit, often summed up by the playful mindset of, "What's the worst thing today?" turns everyday annoyances into instant conversation starters. Spaniards might grumble about the heat, traffic, or politics, not because they're pessimistic, but because shared frustration creates immediate connection and intimacy. What sounds negative to outsiders is actually one of Spain's most charming social tricks, using honesty to break the ice. Laugh together and build closeness faster than any polite cliches ever could. When a Spanish person starts a conversation with a complaint about the weather, they're not being rude or negative. They're inviting you into their inner circle by sharing something real and immediate. So if a Spanish friend begins with a complaint, don't worry, they're not pushing you away. They're actually pulling you in, offering you the gift of authentic connection. This cultural approach to conversation creates bonds that feel genuine rather than superficial, which explains why Spanish friendships often feel deeper and more meaningful than relationships in cultures that prioritize polite pleasantries. The rhythm that defies time. Forget everything you know about daily schedules, because Spain operates on a completely different rhythm that will challenge your understanding of time itself. The famous Spanish siesta isn't about laziness. It's a brilliant cultural adaptation that makes perfect sense once you understand the science behind it. Derived from the Latin sexta, meaning the sixth hour, the siesta tradition developed as a smart response to Spain's blazing Mediterranean sun. When temperatures peak between noon and 3 p.m., the entire country slows down. Shops close, streets fall silent, and around 2 p.m., entire towns seem to disappear as people head home for their midday ritual. But here's where it gets really interesting. This rhythm pairs beautifully with another beloved Spanish tradition called sobremesa. That magical moment after a meal when the food is gone but everyone stays at the table. Plates are empty, but conversations overflow. Spaniards linger for 30 minutes, an hour, or even more, sipping coffee or wine as stories spill into the afternoon. The sobremesa isn't just about digestion, it's about connection. The main course isn't the food, it's the human interaction. That's why presenting the bill the moment someone finishes eating is considered deeply insensitive in Spanish culture. Meals are sacred time for bonding, not just eating. After a late lunch around 2 or 3 p.m. and a long sobremesa, a short nap or quiet break becomes almost natural before the long evening ahead. This explains why dinner in Spain is famously late. Spaniards rarely start dinner before 9 or 10 p.m., and if you sit down at a restaurant at 6 p.m., you'll almost certainly be dining completely alone. But here's the shocking truth behind Spain's late schedule. The country has been living in the wrong time zone for more than 80 years. Geographically, Spain should align with Portugal and the UK on Greenwich Mean Time. But in 1940, Franco shifted the country to Central European time to show political solidarity with Hitler. The result is a nation permanently living 1 hour ahead of where it should be. At 10 p.m. in Spain, the sky still looks like 9 p.m. Spaniards aren't deliberately staying up late. Their clocks are simply following a timeline bent by historical politics. If your country suddenly changed time zones for political reasons, how would it affect your daily life? Could you adapt to eating dinner at 10 p.m., as this unhurried rhythm shapes daily routines? It can also be seen in local food traditions, especially in tapas culture, which carries its own familiar details. In some older bars, a floor scattered with napkins or seafood shells is viewed as a sign that the place is well-loved and frequently visited. This same spirit appears in everyday behavior, where people follow simple social habits such as standing on the right side of escalators so others can pass, and using elevators only when they are truly needed. The double surname revolution. Forget the one surname system you're used to, because Spain plays by completely different rules that will revolutionize how you think about family identity. Here, every person carries two last names, the first from the father and the second from the mother. This isn't just a fun twist on paperwork. It's a cultural promise that both family lines deserve equal recognition and preservation. Take the iconic Pablo Ruiz Picasso. The world knows him by his mother's surname, Picasso, but officially, Ruiz from his father always comes first, thanks to this system. A mother's family name never fades away with time or marriage. It becomes part of a person's permanent identity, carried proudly through generations. This tradition means that Spanish genealogy is incredibly rich and complex. You can trace both maternal and paternal lines equally, creating family trees that are far more comprehensive than single surname systems allow. When Spanish people introduce themselves formally, they're literally carrying the history of two entire family lineages in their name. In Spain, a surname isn't just a label, it's a living piece of family history that connects you to ancestors, traditions, and cultural heritage from both sides of your family. This system ensures that no family line disappears simply because of marriage or gender, making Spanish naming conventions one of the most egalitarian in the world. 9. The bar capital of the universe. Spain has over 280,000 bars and restaurants, giving it the highest bar density in Europe. That's one bar for every 131 residents, compared to one for every 350 people in the United States. Even in tiny villages with just a few hundred people, there's always at least one bar keeping the community spirit alive. But Spanish bars aren't just about drinking. They're the heartbeat of social life. These establishments serve as community centers where Spaniards find warmth, laughter, and genuine human connection. The bar culture is so sophisticated that Barcelona now has 4 establishments in the world's 50 best bars, with Sips Barcelona ranking number 1 in 2023, beating legendary venues from London and New York. What's particularly fascinating is how Spanish women embrace bar culture. They see bars as places to express themselves freely, from single mothers out with friends to groups of middle-aged women after work, to stylish young women who come not just for wine but to discuss business, fashion, and life. There's no stigma or judgment, just acceptance and community. Here's something that sounds contradictory but makes perfect sense in Spanish culture. Spain has the highest rate of regular adult drinking in the European Union, but simultaneously one of the lowest rates of public drunkenness. Spaniards have mastered the art of social drinking without losing control. Day drinking is completely acceptable in Spanish culture. If you order a vermouth, glass of wine, or beer at 11 a.m., nobody thinks you have a drinking problem. It's a beautiful tradition where you'll see people sitting down in the middle of their workday for a big lunch and enjoying a glass of wine as naturally as having coffee. Spain even built a free wine fountain for travelers along the Santiago de Compostela pilgrimage route at Bodega Irache. There's a red wine fountain that has been running since 1891, offering pilgrims a free sip right in the middle of their spiritual journey. Imagine walking hundreds of miles and finding free wine flowing from a fountain. It's like discovering an oasis in the desert. The village where death takes a holiday. Nestled at the foot of the picturesque Sierra Nevada mountains in southern Spain, Langeron isn't just famous for producing Europe's finest mineral water. It's known as one of the world's longest living villages, where residents seem to have discovered the secret to extending life itself. The village caught Europe's attention in 1999 when local authorities humorously announced, "Stay healthy and keep living until the new cemetery is finished." This statement was made while the town lacked sufficient burial space, creating the amusing situation where residents were essentially required to stay alive until infrastructure caught up with their longevity. With its incredibly fresh mountain air and natural mineral water that's been sourced since the 18th century, it's no surprise that many elderly people from across Europe choose Langeron for health recovery and peaceful living. The combination of clean environment, stress-free lifestyle, and mineral-rich water creates conditions that seem to naturally extend human life. The village has become a pilgrimage site for people seeking longevity secrets. Residents attribute their long lives to the pure mountain water, clean air, strong community bonds, and a lifestyle that prioritizes relationships over material success, whether it's the environment or the attitude. Something in Langeron is definitely working to keep people healthy and happy well into their golden years. The 12-second challenge for 12 months of luck. On New Year's Eve in Spain. The celebration is not only about fireworks and the countdown. It also includes a fast and memorable custom called the 12 Lucky Grapes. When the clock hits midnight, people do not start with a sip of champagne. Instead, they face a quick and demanding task, eating 12 grapes within 36 seconds. As the bell rings once every 3 seconds, you have to eat and swallow one grape with each sound. Every grape represents a hopeful and successful month in the new year. If you finish the challenge before the last chime, many believe you will gain luck and positive energy for all 12 months. This custom began after a large grape harvest in 1909 and has grown into a lively moment when everyone tries to eat their grapes while laughing, turning the final seconds of the year into a fun and shared event filled with excitement and community spirit. Live together without getting married. Could you spend your life with someone you love without officially marrying them? In Spain, this is not only normal but also widely accepted today, based on recent information from Spain's National Statistics Institute. More than 16% of couples live together without marriage, placing Spain among the European countries with the highest rates of cohabitation. In many places, marriage is required for sharing property or raising children together. But Spain offers a flexible legal option called parejas de hecho, which means common law partnership. By registering at the local office and showing that you live together, you and your partner can receive almost the same legal rights as married couples, including inheritance, shared assets, tax support, and child-related benefits. Why do so many people choose this path? The risks and potential costs of divorce are major factors that lead many Spanish couples to choose cohabitation instead of marriage. Although the official crude divorce rate is 1.7 per 1,000 inhabitants. 2023 data. The commonly cited figure. The ratio of divorces to marriages within a given year can exceed 60%, creating the impression that marriage is a very risky investment. Moreover, divorce in Spain not only happens frequently but also drags on the average duration of a marriage. Before divorce is 16. 4 years. This means that a failed marriage brings financial and emotional consequences, lasting well over a decade, prompting many couples to prefer cohabitation as a form of commitment with fewer constraints and an easier exit. Spain's second religion. If you want to experience a place where a single goal can make an entire city erupt with energy, Spain is the perfect example. Here, soccer is far more than a sport. It represents identity, emotion, and a strong part of the national culture. Spain is the home of two of the most famous teams in the world, Real Madrid and FC Barcelona, which have produced stars such as Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Xavi, Sergio Ramos, and Iker Casillas. Each match can attract hundreds of millions of viewers across the globe and turn city streets into lively celebrations. With more than 28,000 amateur and professional clubs, Spain has one of Europe's strongest and most respected youth development systems. Known for shaping top players, the Spanish national team amazed the world with 3 major titles in a row, winning Euro 2008, the 2010 World Cup, and Euro 2012, a record never seen before in men's soccer. More recently, Spain matched Germany by becoming one of the only nations to win both the men's and women's World Cup after the women's team claimed their championship in 2023. The special Smurf village. Hidden in the green hills of Andalusia, a region known for its classic white villages in southern Spain, sits one of the most unusual and cheerful places in Europe. Juscar, the only Smurf-themed village on the continent. The story began in 2011 when a Hollywood studio chose Juscar to promote the movie The Smurfs. Every building in the village, including its 170 houses, churches, graveyards, and even the town hall, was painted bright blue to match the characters from the comic series. At first, this makeover was planned as a short-term project, but something unexpected happened. Tourists arrived in huge numbers, and visits increased more than 10 times in just a few months. Instead of returning the buildings to their original white, the residents held a vote, and most agreed to keep the blue. Since then, Juscar has become a special travel destination and is now known as Europe's first official blue village, warmly called the Smurf Village. Driving in Spain. The first thing to know is that many drivers in Spain do not use turn signals, so you have to stay alert for sudden lane changes. The second challenge is roundabouts. Roundabouts in Spain can feel chaotic, with cars shifting lanes and approaching from many directions. When drivers do not signal, it becomes even harder to predict their next move. You need to be especially careful of cars coming from the left as you enter a roundabout. Another cultural detail is that Spaniards are very comfortable making eye contact for longer than what some visitors might expect. If you walk down the street, someone passing by may hold your gaze for several seconds. The same can happen on the metro. If you accidentally lock eyes with someone, you will notice that people in Spain usually stay relaxed in that moment. And that's Spain, a country that lives by its own rules and never apologizes for it. What makes Spain truly unforgettable isn't just what you see, but how it makes you feel. It's a place that teaches you to slow down, to savor the moment, and to find joy in the simple act of being alive. Spain doesn't ask you to change. It invites you to discover a different rhythm, one where passion and authenticity matter more than perfection. If the charm of Spanish women already captivates you, then you're going to be even more shocked to learn that, on a remote island in the middle of the Indian Ocean, there exists a secret known only to women. They speak a language that no man can fully understand, a language that doesn't appear in any book, any document, anywhere in the world. And trust me, what I'm telling you is just the surface of the mystery. I've pinned a link in the description where you can watch the full story, and once you do, you'll never look at the world the same way again. 8. So, which story caught your attention the most? Have you ever been to Spain? Or is it calling you for the first time? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our next adventure. And please, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and remember the world is full of surprises waiting for you.